Star Wars Battlefront is easily the best looking and best sounding game of the entire year. There's a lot of heart and soul here that you don't see in a lot of other big multiplayer shooters anymore, bar maybe Splatoon or something. You get the sense that the folks at DICE really genuinely love Star Wars. It's an incredibly authentic experience with an obscene attention to detail. And it doesn't hurt that it's just damn fun, too. As different and more sparse as it is compared to Battlefront 2, it still maintains the general theme. Like the Battlefront of yesteryear, it harkens back to when I played with Star Wars action figures and came up with my own stupid little stories. It's not a particularly deep game, but to be fair, neither was Battlefront 2. It does what it's supposed to do. Give Star Wars fans a genuine Star Wars playground to stomp and shoot around in. When you capture a control point with your fellow stormtroopers and John Williams' thrilling score swoops in along with TIE fighters flying above, it doesn't matter how nuanced or deep the gameplay is. For the Star Wars fan, that is pretty much heaven in a $60 package. Here is my concern though, and I'm going to present this concern in the form of a little challenge. I want you to name a multiplayer first-person shooter that A. costs $60 on release, B. is more than a year old, and C. has more than 10,000 people still playing today. Take your time. I'll leave the John Williams music on. Got it? Good. The only one that really jumped at me off the top of my head was Destiny. I did some further research, and Battlefield 4 also gets by with about 50,000 players between all platforms, which it ain't bad, you know, it's not bad. Borderlands 2, on Steam anyway, passes by the skin of its teeth with about 15,000 players. There's also Grand Theft Auto 5, if you count that, and that's a big maybe. So that's 3, 4 if we count GTA. A whopping 3 games definitely, concretely pass that challenge. I seem to recall a lot more $60 multiplayer games coming out than that. Of course, every Call of Duty sells by the truckload, but after the next Call of Duty comes out, I'll bet hardly anyone will be playing Black Ops 3 anymore. Titanfall, for as much as I love it, is practically a ghost town at this point, and the same goes for Evolve, which isn't even a year old yet. I fear that, given EA's plans for sequels and a season pass that costs $50 friggin' dollars, Battlefront won't last long. For all the tender loving care that went into making Battlefront, that's the last thing I want to happen to it. This game is a Star Wars fan's dream. Sure, it's not that deep, but it's still fun as hell. I don't want to boot this game up a year down the line and find only a few hundred people still playing it, but when DICE is inevitably releasing another Battlefront down the line, I doubt people are still going to maintain that interest. Why couldn't EA's plans for this game be like other more successful multiplayer games? Counter-Strike Go and TF2 have both made boatloads off of cosmetic items, so instead of locking new maps behind a paywall, let's let fans play as a Gungan stormtrooper. Let's play as Obi-Wan, who's functionally identical to Luke. Let's get some of those Imperial teammates in TIE pilot or Imperial officer uniforms. I'd pay mad dough for that. Follow Splatoon's model of giving players new maps and weapons for free with big events. Imagine a Life Day celebration around Christmas time with a new Kashyyyk map or something, or a summer shootout on Naboo. I get the sense that EA could make Battlefront into a new multiplayer hub for Star Wars fans, and when games like Splatoon or TF2 are giving their fans real post-launch support, it's hard for a Star Wars fan like me to really feel appreciated, even with all the attention to detail that DICE put into Battlefront. As it stands, there are 9 modes with 12 maps between them. There are winners and losers among those modes and maps. Walker Assault, Supremacy, and Drop Zone are awesome. Droid Run, Fighter Squadron, and Heroes vs. Villains are good for a couple matches, and the rest are kind of a wash. For as good as this game looks, sounds, and plays, there's just not a lot here. These are thoughts that I shared with Splatoon when I reviewed it earlier this summer, but that game's been doing a fabulous job keeping players coming back with steady, free content. It addressed the problems that I had in that review with flying colors, pun not intended. With most of that post-launch content for Battlefront locked behind an extra $50, I doubt many are going to keep coming back to this game. This isn't so much a review as it is a plea. I love the new Battlefront. I really do. So, I beg you, EA, follow Valve and Nintendo's examples. You have an incredibly large player base right now, and you're going to do a far better job of keeping them by continuing to support this game with lots of free content. If you do that, people are going to want to buy the cosmetic stuff in droves. Hell, you could probably get away with selling a level skip or something. Just don't fracture your player base. I've seen what happens to multiplayer maps when you cut them off for paying players. They get abandoned, and servers tend to shift back to the starting maps anyway. Don't do that. Please. They probably won't listen to me. EA is EA. But DICE has done something really special with Battlefront, and it really hurts to see that hard work get squandered just for the sake of selling a season pass. There's the potential for a fantastic, long-lasting FPS here, but under EA's hands, this game's future looks incredibly murky.